Close the door.
Hey, what's happening, friends? We are back with the next episode of our Lessons with Leaders. Today, I am excited to have one of our, actually, the other co founder of our team who was here from very beginning. She was agent number one that joined after I joined and started the team even before my brother and some of the other. Oh, hold on, I'm hearing feedback here. So, all right. Sorry, I had myself running in the other screen. So now we're good to go. So I'm going to bring on Misti Padilla, everybody. Welcome, Misti. Thank you for joining us. Stoked today to have her sharing on the topic of branding with brilliance. And she has built an amazing business as a part of our team and a huge contributor to the culture and the way we do things, but also has built a very strong personal brand in our community amongst the business world. So I was very happy when she brought up this topic and wanted to share on it. So welcome, Misti. I'm going to bring up your slides. I will stay on, but the floor is now yours. There we go.
My honor. I am so grateful and honored to be here with you. So thank you for having me.
Yes, excited.
Wonderful. So yes, branding brilliance is the topic that we're going to share on today. And again, we're always learning. Dylan will continuously say, if you folks are a big follower of all things that of all the things that he shares, he will continually tell you and share that we're always learning every day. So what I'm about to share with you is not an impression that I have it down pat. It's perfect. It's just all the things that I've learned along the way. And I want to share it with you because I believe it's helpful and it'll hopefully save you some time and money in the long run. Because had I known all these things when we first started, we always go back and say, I wish I knew this when I first started. So keep that in mind. I'm always learning and growing alongside of each and every one of you. And the slide that Dylan had on previously is just my contact information. So feel free to reach out at any time. You guys already know how to reach us. And so, yes, as Dylan shared, I am Misti Padilla, born and raised here in Kailua Kona. And branding, first of all, I always like to open up, when you think of your brand, it is such a big thing because you have to think of something that's going to brand you specifically. What are people going to see, hear, touch, smell, all the things in order to focus on just you? What is your brand? So the logos that you see here on the slides, immediately you see the big white dot, the red background. Everybody knows that's Target, right? You see the Amazon and the Nike swoosh. Everyone knows what these logos represent. And that's clearly an indication that they have done so well with branding. They're out there. They are everywhere. So continue to keep in mind, how strong of a brand do you want to build? Think of all these things. Branding builds trust and recognition, and also consistent. A consistent brand continues to attract ideal clients. And that's super, super important. Dylan, feel free to jump in. If there's anything that I missed that we want to touch on, please feel free to jump in. For myself, for my logo, I chose the M, something simple. The M represents, of course, Misti Real Estate, or mistipadilla.com is the website that I like to funnel everything through. And we can talk separately on another topic when we get into funnels and all the other branding tools that can utilize you and help brand your business. So I use my logo as the M. And then my slogan is Aloha Living Everywhere You Go. So every time you think of all these things, I want to be able to be top of mind so that, you can recognize my logo and my name and my brand, by way of the agency Team Hawaii that's brokered by EXP. But of course, I love to just instill our culture and aloha living everywhere we go. So keep that in mind. And I'm hoping I'm doing a great job so that you think of that slogan and that logo each time. So moving along, as I mentioned previously, staying top of mind is so important. When you're not top of mind, think of your clients and leads. They're going to continue to reach someone else who's going to be top of mind. And if it's not you, it's going to be somebody else. And so within the team that Dylan has built, you folks all know that everything comes full circle. Once you have a lead, under your belt, and if you don't stay top of mind, they're going to contact someone else. And lo and behold, that someone else may be someone on our team, which we've always experienced constantly all the time. So we really, really encourage staying top of mind. You have to be consistent with communication. And again, I'm learning and growing through all of these trial and errors as well. Newsletters is a big way to continue to stay top of mind. And of course, social media platforms, which social media is a whole nother beast that, you want to definitely look into. But we want to have a brand where you can engage with your audience regularly, and consistency is key. We cannot pound that enough. It's just being consistent is so crucial when you're trying to brand yourself. And of course, you want to provide value through your content. If you have boring content, people are just going to continue to scroll past. Include tips, include market updates, everything and anything that Dylan is doing. Once you think of Dylan Onaka, you immediately think of YouTube and branding, because he is definitely consistent with all the things. And so we basically try to duplicate all the things that he's doing so that we can also provide value by way of market updates, newsletters, social media, you name it. There's so many things out there that you can continue to brand yourself accordingly through. So yeah, staying top of mind is very, very important. Moving along, as I mentioned, being present everywhere, is really the name of the game. Everywhere you go, you walk, you talk, you do all the things. You just have to continue to know that you are a walking billboard. So when you do think of your branding, I've learned so much from Gogo, who's one of my very favorites. She is just the social media queen. And, she always instills all these things that, again, consistency is key. But when you think of your branding, you want to have a picture or a logo and use that same one everywhere you go, as opposed to changing out your pictures each time. I know we all like to change pictures consistently, but also keep in mind that when you do change your pictures, your branding changes in its entirety. And another one, talking about pictures, is keep it consistent to what you look like now. You'll hear Dylan say over and over again, don't be using your graduation picture or your prom picture 20, 30 years later down the line, right? So yes, you do want to update your pictures accordingly, but when you do, change that across all of your platforms so that it's consistent, so that they will see. Right now, the picture that I've used is me in the blue dress. So all of my branding does consist of that headshot. And then when I do decide to change it, I'm going to go ahead and change that picture everywhere across all platforms. You do want to create a designated business account and a separate personal account. Keep it separate and know that you only share with the world. The world will only see what you share with them. I know a lot of people are so hesitant with posting because they don't want so-and-so, to see this and that. But again, keep in mind, whatever you put out there, that's exactly what they're going to see. So if you don't want them to see any of that stuff, then don't post it. As simple as that. Maintain, again, consistent branding throughout, and then don't mix your personal and professional accounts. So you'll notice a lot of us, we do have our own personal account and a professional account as well. So keep that separate. And again, you want to dominate the social media platforms like a pro. So consistency is key. So we can move on to the next one. This is one of our videos that was integrated into the slide because we had a lot of comments and it kind of went viral. And we're super proud of that because what we did is we incorporated team members and we had our children involved. And it was basically, my mom's a realtor. You guys can go ahead and tune into our social media to check that out. But content is king, and of course queen, through engaging through all social media posts. You want to craft something that's going to be so captivating and continues to attract attention. Share valuable real estate tips, again, like I said earlier, market updates, local insight, jump on a live. Dylan is so good with that. He can make himself available and jump on. And you can always find other people to interview with as well. So for those of you that have such a hard time jumping on because you're nervous, scared, or whatever it is, bring someone else on with you. It does make things so much easier. So we really love collaborating with others there.
All you have to do is ask questions, right? Bring questions and let the other person do the talking. Very easy.
Totally. It just eases all the nerves. And then you have a friend, all the things that we do, we like to have fun and incorporate all the fun things. So it's always to have others join you as well. So just get creative, is really what it is. Getting creative and doing all the things. Leverage your video, share stories, behind the scenes, property tours. You just got to get creative. Anything and everything is marketable. And so using the free platforms is so huge. There's so many people that spend so much money in trying to market themselves. I like to go on a cost effective budget and utilize the free platforms and then spend your money in other marketing areas, that will be more effective. So that's just my, strategy there. Of course, you run your business as you see fit. But don't forget, short, engaging stories and posts tends to attract more. And again, marketing and social media is super huge. So that we can definitely dive more into on a separate topic. I just want to be really brief, with continuing to choose how you specifically brand yourself. And as you notice on all the slides, I have my logo on the bottom corner. So that's always going to stay there, So throughout all of this, if you may not remember what I say or what the slides say, at least you can see mistipadilla.com. That'll always just be relevant. Beyond the basics, advanced social media techniques. So encouraging each and every one of you to go the extra mile for maximum impact. It's like go big or go home, right? You just go all in. You can consider paid social media if you do want to reach a wider audience. Dylan, can I pick on you on sponsors? Because you do sponsorship ads, right? If you can share how effective that has been when you do invest in money to reach a wider audience through paid ads.
Yeah, definitely. So if you are just doing organic social media posts, you're only going to reach the people who are already following you or you're already connected with. Where if you want to expand that touch and that reach, you got to put some money behind it. And Meta, which owns Facebook and Instagram, it's really convenient because you can advertise to both of those platforms just one time. So if you set up one, either boosts post or a paid ad, it's going to feed to both of those plus into Messenger. And so you have the ability to touch people based on targeting. And the great thing about Facebook is they know more about you than you probably know about yourself. And so you don't even really have to be an expert at targeting, where if once you put the ad copy or the ad video together and you let them do their automatic targeting, they're going to target based on the things that they know about the audience that's already out there, because they know what kind of people that you want to reach. And they obviously want your ad to be successful. So you continue to run more ads and pay more money. And so they have an incentive to delivering your advertising to the right audience, and they do an amazing job doing that. And it's very, very cost effective, right? You can reach thousands of people for $10 a day, $20 a day. So it's nowhere near the type of cost like TV and radio or newspaper advertising has been in the past. So definitely not something you want to overlook.
That is so awesome. And you nailed it, is the way technology works these days is you don't even have to think about it. The number one excuse a lot of people always say, no, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. You don't even have to think about it anymore. You just punch it right in, type it up, and boom, your entire presentation is right there for you. You can have content for days just by utilizing all of the AI technology, which again can be another topic that we talk about. But yeah, there's so much, there's endless possibilities when it comes to getting content to be able to brand yourself and post to market your business. Sorry, go back one more time. Just to touch on and incorporate here events. If you are a person that likes to socialize and collaborate, within the community and pretty much outside of your circle, host events. Our team is very much known for doing home buyer workshops. We can talk story for buyers and sellers. We also do Why Not. We call that Why Not because we want to go ahead and share and talk story about EXP. Just get creative. Think of all the fun things that you can do to attract people. It doesn't necessarily have to be real estate related. Just think of all the clients and the leads that will come and be attracted to you, and think that these are people that will definitely turn into your leads by way of them having interest in building your business, or of course, remaining top of mind so that they can refer you to others who are looking for your service. So again, anything and everything is definitely a brand that you're continuing to build. You are a walking billboard every day of your life. Right now, business cards. So this one goes, it's twofold. The power of digital business cards these days, it's so impactful, but at the same time, there's still traditional business cards. And so how I like to incorporate these in my business is I like to go ahead and touch on families that are old school and new school, instead of going all digital, like some people do decide to do for their business. I like to touch both because there are still people that need you for business that listen to the radio or read the newspaper or still expects, a traditional business card to put in their Rolodex, all the things you just never know. So I encourage, go both. If you can do digital marketing as well as the traditional hands-on marketing as well and branding, do it because at least, that way you've touched everyone across the platform. No child gets left behind. So here on the business card, what I personally love and I get so many compliments on is my email signature. And these are the clickable links. So anytime I send out an email, it populates all of the information. My name, my brokerage, my real estate number, my phone number. You pretty much know everything but my social security number. And you can find me anywhere. You can click on my social media, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and that's one thing is when you think of your branding is you want to be able to do it where people can easily find you instead of having to go down the rabbit hole on the website. They type in your name and then you got to click, click, click here, there, everywhere before someone can actually find you. By then, they've seen so many other ads and people that may be even more attractive. They're going to click on them. And then by that time, you've already lost them. So make yourself brandable where you can easily be reached. Leave your cards everywhere. Everybody laughs at me because they always tell me, "Oh, I saw your business card at the Matsuyama Bulletin or Holualoa." Like anywhere you see a bulletin that is advertising, go ahead and leave your business card. What's the worst thing that can happen? People will get silly and like draw on your card or whatever it is. But embrace it. Just take that as an opportunity that's free advertising for you. So carry extra business cards. I have my branding on my kids' shirts, everywhere we go. If they're not wearing Kona Gold or promoting our security company, they're wearing my real estate branding. And so at any time, take that opportunity to brand yourself everywhere you go. Have your cards stand out. Again, think of the nice, whatever colors and branding that you want to do for yourself. You have to give careful consideration into all of these because you don't want to be inconsistent and change. Oh, I don't like how I look here. I don't like how this font is. It's just carefully put thought into it so that you can be consistent branding throughout. And know that networking opportunities and follow-ups are super, super important, so just continue to be that walking billboard and just brand yourself everywhere you go. Another one of my favorites to share is merchandise. Is anytime we do open house, we love doing mega open house. It just gives you opportunity again to expose yourself. Any bottles that we like to distribute, water bottles, wine bottles, go ahead and get a custom label, put all of your information on it and just slap it right on top of your product. And then boom, that's extra branding that you can have there. These are just samples, that I order online. I try to support local first so that we can go ahead and support our local community. But again, these are just simple branding ways that you can use. Just get creative and market yourself in these other areas. That's our team. So grateful. I use KV Core. Again, that's just specific of the CRM that we use, but keep in mind, it could be any CRM that you decide to use for your business. Utilize all the tools and opportunities that these CRMs offer you. And again, this can be saved for another teaching moment through our lessons from leaders. But your CRM, whatever you decide to use for your business, has so many tools in there that you can utilize for free. But again, know that you also have paid options as well to expand your branding. But go ahead and take time, take time to dig deep into your CRMs to see how you can capture your leads. Another important tool is, again, once you brand yourself, okay, you're going to start capturing people. You got to know what you're going to do with these people after you capture them. So it's super important. You can't just go out looking all nice and fluffy, and then everyone's coming to you, and then you're like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do with them? So again, that's another level that we'll dive deeper into, is knowing how to handle your leads in your database, because you have to have a strong follow-up game and system in order to attract all of them and then be able to filter them out so that they can be of benefit to your business. This here is super huge to me. The power of commitment, a penalty, and a reward. So CPR. I learned this as well from Gogo, one of my favorites. So when you think of all the things, okay, again, know that you have to be committed, right? In all things that you do. You have to think of it to where the commitment and the why is going to be so strong that if you don't do it, you're going to have a penalty for it. And then, of course, you want to reward yourself on top of that. And so I brought this up specifically because there's a lot of people that will always say, I don't want to get in front of the camera. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. But when you think of all the things that you don't do, these are ways that you're cutting yourself short from building your business and getting a paycheck, basically. So you have to be able to overcome all these obstacles. And we're all here, to help support one another. Think of when you're setting your clear branding goals, establish a penalty for not achieving them. And so think of that penalty as being so strong that if I don't do it, if I don't brand myself accordingly, if I don't, create and grow my business and learn the systems to grow my business, there's going to be a heavy, heavy penalty. And whatever that penalty is, you just think about it, because it's going to motivate you to do all the things that you don't want to do. And then, of course, you're going to reward yourself for achieving all these goals. And just to give you an example, so as I had shared this when I went through my coaching program, like a penalty was, what if you can't hug your child for a whole year? If you don't commit to doing all these things, branding yourself accordingly, or doing X amount of social media posts, or hitting your big goals, think of a penalty so strong, like not being able to hug or touch your kids for a year, that it's going to make you do it. Like, that's how brutal it can be. So think of it that way. So think of CPR, commitment, penalty, and reward. And I'm certain that will motivate you to do all the things that you don't want to do. You want to add anything to that, Dylan?
I totally agree with that. And one of the examples I've been sharing recently is create your priority list of things that must get done before noon. And for me personally, I don't eat lunch until I get those things done. And so it's a way for me to have a mini penalty at the middle of the day, where if I don't accomplish my 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever high priority items I have to accomplish that day, I don't get to eat lunch until I do. And so that makes me motivated to do that, because I like to eat. So I like to make sure at noon I get to eat. So there you go.
That's brutal, but yet, like you said, it makes you do it. But look at all the things that you do and you've accomplished. I mean, that's awesome. And speaking of all of that, call to action, branding brilliance starts now. Take control, build your brand, and continue to dominate the market. The nice thing is, we are so blessed to have Dylan as our leader, and everything that he has and does, it's we can all duplicate it. So again, we don't even have to think of all the things that we need to do or say. It's just simply tune into what he has, and we'll just continue to rip off and duplicate, like he says. It just makes it so much easier. And again, knowing that, we have a team and a support system so strong, it makes the task so much easier to get things done. There's so much more that I want to do. I just need to, again, prioritize and make the time to do it. It's as simple as it is, but at the same time, it's definitely a struggle. But just know that we're all here together, to work together to build and grow, so that we can dominate the market together. Implement your branding strategies, as we discussed previously, and continue to be relentless. That is my word for 2024, was relentless. Be consistent in all things, and continue to be interactive online. and be able to integrate all the systems, that we have in place, or systems that you have in your business that you need to, just get creative and all the things. Um, Branding brilliance equals real estate success. And not only real estate, and all the things. You have other businesses, we have to get the word out there. If we remain quiet and not brand and do things accordingly, we don't have business. If we don't have business, we don't have a paycheck, then we can't put food on the table for our families. Pretty simple.
Talk a little bit more about your word. I heard you say your word was relentless. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Your word for
So
the year.
so when I think of like relentless, it's so
Or the,
much
or
to.
the concept of choosing a word. Maybe that's what I was getting to. Like
Okay.
that, yeah. The
Controversial.
concept of choosing your theme for the year, because that's a part of branding, right? Your personal
Right.
mental
Right.
branding. Yeah.
No, and every year, we always think of one word that's going to be so powerful that every day, that's going to motivate you. So thinking of that one word, at the beginning of the year, was resilience and relentless. There's so many powerful words out there. And so I was really stuck on resilience and relentless. For those of you that know me and my life, I spin so many plates, like just beyond. And I love to do all things with excellence. I don't like to, excuse my language, but we don't like to half-ass things. We like to do things wholeheartedly, go big or go home. We want to dominate all things. So I spin many plates, and I know there's so many, sayings that people say, you can't be 100% in this if you're trying to be 100% in all things. I am that person that tries to be 100% in all things, and I'm learning and I'm growing
And
and
you do
trying
an
to.
amazing job doing that. So don't, yeah, you prove that you can.
I try, but there are times where I do get way over myself where I'm like, girl, you need to slow your roll, like just slow your roll. But when I do have those moments, because there's times where I do want to tap out. I have a big family and multiple businesses that we run. And there's times that I'm like, oh my gosh, I just need a break. I want to tap out, I want to turn off my phone, but then it gives me anxiety. I can't turn my phone off and disconnect. But then I always go back to that one word, that word that you had from the beginning of the year. It's like, okay, just be relentless, resilience. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. And I just think of all these words, so I encourage you, think of a word, whether it's for the day, the month, or the year. And anytime that you feel yourself, getting, if your tank is lessening, think of these words that will just bring you up and rise you above to make you want to go stronger and go harder. You can't give up. I always tell my kids that no matter what, you can't give up, you can't tap out. And that's just how I choose my words, is that one word that's just going to motivate you regardless, no matter how you feel or how emotional or physically drained you are. Think of those words that are going to just empower you and just tip you over.
Love it.
So I just inserted this here, client reviews. So in the event, as you're branding yourself, you're getting all these leads and businesses into your pipeline, and then you're figuring out your systems on what to do and how to handle them. You want to be able to have that client review. This is like the icing on the cake. If your clients can provide you a wonderful raving review, then you just did your job. Now, again, keep in mind, not everyone's going to have all the great things to say. You got to be open and be able to receive feedback. If people are going to say, oh my gosh, I don't like Misti. I can't get my feelings hurt, and Dylan will talk to us and pound that on us all the time, is can't get your feelings hurt. Don't take anything personal. Is take it like a grain of salt. Figure out the ways on how you can do things bigger and better and grow and learn from that. But client reviews are so important. Consider that a reward when you can do all the things that you do in your business and you have your client that wants to go ahead and give you positive feedback. Consider that as your reward, but that's also branding, because what other people see that your clients are giving feedback on, they're going to go and tell their friends, and then they're going to tell their friends. And if you haven't noticed by now, bad news tends to travel faster than good news. Anytime something goes south and wrong, boom, you are just blasted all over social media, right? So at the same time, with these client reviews, whether it be good or bad, we like to spread good cheer. So it's always nice and encouraging and positive when you are able to get your clients to leave you wonderful reviews. And again, just continue to learn, build upon this, and be able to grow your business even bigger and better. I think we're wrapping it up here.
Perfect timing. Well, I got a couple of questions, so go ahead. All right.
No, that was it. That was my last slide. I have aloha because that is, again, for those of you that know me and family and culture, that is how we are raised in all things, not only through halal and our Hawaiian education. Is that's just how we are raised. That is our foundation. The way we walk, the way we talk, the way we breathe, eat, sleep, all things is always through aloha, and that's why I have that slogan: is aloha living everywhere you go. And that was a wrap for me. But go ahead if you have any
No, that's
questions.
that's definitely part of your brand for sure, right? Is not only the tagline, but you actually live it and you exude it in everything that you do. And I think people know that about you, and that's why they love to
Thanks.
work with you. But one of my big takeaways, which I think was a big aha moment for me, with this was a lot of times we think of branding as something like big and expensive, right? Like branding like through a billboard or through TV advertising and stuff like that. But what you were talking about was really you have to brand small too, right? I love the business card idea on the bulletin board at the local, stop and
Everywhere.
shop, or just putting it on your water bottle when you give it away to how often do you take a water bottle, put it in your car, and it sits there for like 2 weeks before you throw it away? That's 2 weeks of exposure you would get for your brand to that person that came to your open house, right? So do you have any other little tips and tricks like on small level branding that you do? Because I just really love that.
I
It's inexpensive and it's so effective. So
No, and thanks for bringing it up because I kept telling myself, don't forget to say this. So we like to travel a lot, right? And so every time we travel, I always take goodies because you're going to give it to people. The flight attendants, you're going to meet someone in the airport or someone's going to bring up some conversation. Oh, why do you look so familiar? Or I know your mom, I know your dad, whatever it is. So I always take goodies everywhere we go. And on these goodies, I put my label. Whether it's my branding or our security branding or the gym. And then they're like, oh my gosh, what? You do this, you do that, and then of course it's good goodies. It's not junk stuff. So yeah, you do need to spend some time and thought, and you have to spend money in order to make money. But I'm such a gift giver, and I love giving gifts everywhere we go. And then that way, again, you're branding yourself. You're going to remain top of mind. They're going to remember you. Oh my gosh, that was the girl that gave me a gift bag on the airplane, or wherever it may be. Another one of my favorite ones is when we go to hotel rooms at Four Seasons. I used to work at the Four Seasons, so of course we do things over and above. But with the washcloths and the towels, they fold and make all kinds of nice like origami stuff. So I'll leave that for my housekeeper. We go to the hotels and I'll make something nice for her on the bed, and I'll leave a treat, and then it has all my information. And you always go to when you fall in love and loyal to something, whatever it may be, whether it's your favorite rent-a-car, hotel, airlines, you're going to keep going there over and over again. So we go to the same places over and over again, and then they remember. They're like, oh my gosh, you're the realtor, or you dance hula, or you do this. So I like to do that a lot, at the hotel rooms, is just do all those things. At all the open houses, I like to fold the toilet paper and make it nice, all these little things. Even if I go to other people's open houses, I'll fold it. And then they'll remember, like, oh my gosh, you're that realtor that does this. So it's just all the little things, you kind of just make an impact. And if they don't remember me for real estate, then hopefully they'll remember me for something else that will be another avenue or another stream of income to my business. So
no,
it's
so
like,
my takeaway here is brand is not necessarily a logo or advertising too. It's other things that you do of who you are which leave an impact on people, and then they remember you, which is probably more effective, right? If you do something caring and nice for somebody, they're almost gonna remember you more than if you had a
right.
great logo, right? We think about, oh, I spent all this time creating the perfect logo for my business, when it's really how you treat people that's going to be your brand, not necessarily your logo, right?
I totally feel that, and it goes again both ways. Is you treat people badly, oh my gosh, they're going to remember you till the end of time. So just
Mm-hmm.
trying to flip that. It's like, yeah, you treat people kindly, and yes, they're going to remember you, and yeah, you pretty much hit it on point. It's you,
Yeah.
yes, it is your branding, it's your logo, but it's also you, and how you
people
represent.
people don't remember what you said, they remember how you made them feel, right?
Yeah,
That's one of my favorite sayings. So
totally. That's so true. Yeah.
awesome. Any closing thoughts or advice for everybody before we wrap up?
Just that, like you said, people don't remember what you say, they remember what you do. So in all things, yes, I'm always going to continue to say this is always do things with aloha, but at the same time, don't let people take that as a weakness. It's like don't mistaken our aloha for weakness. And this day and age, yes, the world is so different than how we were raised. But at the same time, through it all, yes, we do have to remember aloha no matter what. Yes, if the world is crappy and everyone around you is crappy, you don't have to be that crappy person. You don't have to be that crappy brand. And that's so important to me. And I just believe that through that, that's how we're going to continue to flourish together is you have all of us doing the same thing. We all built on the same foundation. We all have the same vision and mission. And then together, we're going to spread good cheer and bring good business. And that's how people are going to remember us is, oh my gosh, yes, they do good business. They trust you, they trust me. And, within that, it just kind of attracts, that's how our team is. And that's how we end up building our brand, so to speak. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
I love it. Well, if you want to reach out to Misty, Misty Real Estate, you see her Instagram handle underneath her name, and you can always reach out. She's easy to find because she's branded. Just type in her name online, and you'll be able to find her. I think she's the only Misty Padilla out there. So thank you, Misty, for everything you do for the
Thank
team and
you.
sharing today and being the brave second. I did the first one, and you did the second one. Lessons from
Step
leaders.
back
So
to
if
follow.
you're out there, again, we want to be able to share, give back to everybody, share the experiences, the positive things that you've learned over the years. So if you want to be a part of this, just hit me up, let me know. We'll get it scheduled and we'll put you on. So thanks again,
Sounds
Misty.
good. Thank you, Dylan, for being awesome.
Right on. Have a good weekend.
Take care. Aloha.